Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Sports Stuff. We missed a lot over the weekend, so let's just go ahead and jump into it. Before we get started, congratulations to the Endwell, New York Little League baseball team for being the first U.S. baseball team to win the Little League World Series since 2011. And now let's get started with the news. Tony Romo is injured yet again. During a preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks, Tony Romo was going into a slide, and then Cliff Averill, a linebacker, came from behind and swatted down to try and force a fumble, and this ended up breaking a vertebra in his back. X-rays and MRIs confirmed that Tony Romo will be out for at least 6 to 10 weeks, and Dak Prescott, the rookie, will be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Honestly, I feel kind of bad for Tony Romo because he hasn't played a full season since 2012, and while granted 2 of those seasons he only missed 1 game, he has had a very injury-ridden career. And honestly, it may come to a point where he may have to retire because his body really has taken a beating, and I don't know if he'll be able to fully recover from this. In other NFL news, the 49ers have acquired wide receiver Jeremy Curley from the Detroit Lions, and in return have sent over offensive lineman Brandon Thomas. Curley, 27-year-old, has spent a few seasons in the league but hasn't seen much playing time either due to being low on the depth chart or some injury. He has torn an ACL in his career. I think the Niners were just looking to add some depth to their wide receiver position, and there's no guarantees that he's going to make the cut. We'll see as we get closer to the start of the season. And now I want to address the Colin Kaepernick protest. During the preseason game against the Green Bay Packers, Colin Kaepernick remained seated on the bench for the national anthem. After the game, he was approached by the media, obviously asking why he did that, and his response was, "I'm not going to stand for a flag that represents a country that oppresses black people and people of color." This caused public outrage. Colin Kaepernick received huge backlash on this protest. Last week I talked about how the NFL remains silent on social issues, and this is exactly why. NFL players are constantly ridiculed for standing up on social issues. Here's what I'll say about the situation. I do agree with Kaepernick's sentiment. This country really does not stand for equality for all, and honestly, it may never. With that being said, I think his decision to protest in this manner on this platform is hugely wrong and hugely disrespectful. Colin, this country has given you the opportunity to play a game that you love and get paid a lot of money to do so. The least you can do is show it some respect, stand up for the flag, and stand up for the anthem. I've heard arguments throughout social media saying that, oh, he's oppressed, huh? He's making $100 million and he feels oppressed? No. He never actually explicitly said that he felt oppressed, so shut your mouth. He said that black people and people of color are oppressed. I also saw a comment on Facebook that said, last I checked, white is a color too. White is the absence of color. Educate yourself. Regardless of Kaepernick's poor decision to protest on this platform, he actually is making a serious point and bringing light to a serious issue. His words need to be heard. His actions do not need to be followed. If he continues to protest in this manner and that just means that he's going to get more interviews and more press time, so be it. His voice needs to be heard. This subject needs to be talked about. The NFL needs to be more vocal on these social issues. But Kaepernick, you're doing it wrong. You have to find another platform to be able to do this. But anyway, moving on. In other controversial news, the NBA has picked a new location for the 2017 All-Star Game, Nolans, or as some people say, New Orleans. This decision is being made after the game was originally supposed to be hosted in Charlotte, but in light of the anti-transgender bathroom law, the NBA removed the game from Charlotte and moved the game to New Orleans. I think the NBA is making a really good decision and looking forward to the All-Star Game in 2017. Speaking of New Orleans, there are rumors floating around that Lance Stephenson is going to work out for the New Orleans Pelicans. The free agent has yet to find a home, and I think it's a good fit for him. New Orleans doesn't really have a veteran leader that they can rely on. Anthony Davis is still really young, and while he is the superstar of the team and can be a leader, Lance Stephenson would bring a pretty good presence to the locker room. Drew Holiday, let's face it, he's past his prime, and Tyreek Evans doesn't really have that leadership quality, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see if the Pelicans do pursue Lance Stephenson more seriously. Also in free agency, Ty Lawson, the veteran point guard, has signed a one-year deal with the Sacramento Kings. Last season saw Ty Lawson bounce around the league a little bit, and he saw very little playing time, and when he did play, it was not good. Ty Lawson will definitely want to forget about last season. I think Sacramento would be a pretty good fit for him. This gives Sacramento two pretty experienced point guards in Darren Collison and Ty Lawson, and if the system can work for them, they can be a pretty good 1-2 punch. So, pretty good signing for the Kings. And now another update on Yasiel Puig. The Los Angeles Dodgers have placed Puig on trade waivers. What does that mean? It means exactly what you think it does. The Dodgers can now trade Puig to any team that wants to claim him. Does this mean that the Dodgers are nearing a deal? It's hard to tell at this point, but putting him on trade waivers is a pretty significant move, and it'll be interesting to see where Puig would go and who the Dodgers would get in return. And that's it for the weekend stuff on sport. I would love to hear what you guys think about the Colin Kaepernick situation, so please do leave a comment down below. Other than that, my name is Paul Cisneros, and this has been Sports Stuff.